Hi guys, welcome to Travel with Austin. I'm Austin. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for my channel. I'm going to be doing a review of the Trans-Alegheny Lunatic Asylum. Now the reason I'm doing a review of this place is because this is a place that you can actually go and tour. Um, and at the time of recording this, I toured it about a week ago on the photography tour there. So I'm going to go ahead and review this place, review my experience there. The good, neutral, bad, and whether or not I would recommend that you go there or not go there. So anyway, let's get started. So I'm going to start by talking about the good things. So first of all, there are many different tours that you can go on. We went on the photography tour, which is basically 4 hours of going around different buildings and being able to take photos, but there's also paranormal tours, criminally insane tours, Kirkbride history tours, stuff like that. The second thing that I consider good, and this is probably just a personal bias, is it is a Kirkbride asylum, and I love Kirkbride asylums. And it is much bigger than it looks from the outside. When we pulled up, we kind of thought, wow, this is really small, especially in relation to something like the Ridges, which, since I go to school in Athens, I see all the time. But when you get inside, it is actually much bigger. Then another good thing that I really liked is they do have restored sections of the Kirkbride building, so you can see what an asylum wing would have looked like back in the 1800s. The whole central admin building is completely restored, so you can see what that used to look like. So I thought that was very interesting and very neat. So now, moving on to the more in-between things. Speaking specifically for our tour, the photo tour, I was not a fan of how it was set up. It was 4 hours. You were only allowed into, or you were allowed in certain buildings, but they took you hour by hour. So, for example, the first hour, we were on the first and second floor of the main asylum, second hour, third and fourth, then each hour after that, we went to a different little building outside. I was not really a big fan of that. There were only really 11 of us there on the photo tour, but we kept running into each other because we were stuck in such, in like these areas. I don't think anyone from the asylum would ever watch this video, but if you do, just a suggestion, for the photo tours, maybe do the first 2 hours are on all 4 floors of the Kirkbride, and then the last 2 hours are on all of the outside buildings, since it would flow better that way in my opinion. Okay, so going into the second meh thing, so on our tour specifically, there was no historical context, which of course I completely expected, I'm completely fine with. But there were times that we went to certain buildings and just had no idea what they were. You'll see in my upcoming videos that one of the buildings is literally just called Asylum Building because we didn't know what it was. And then also, kind of taking from that last part of what I just said, the video and audio recording policy is kind of, it's not very clear at all. When we first went in, we thought, oh, maybe we're just not allowed to record video and audio in the main area where you check in. But then when we went into the restored section, there was also a sign. And it finally took until we were about the 3rd or 4th floor when I went up to our guide and I asked him, and he said, that's only if you go on the historical tours or the paranormal tours. If you do a photography tour, you're allowed to take photos and videos. So yeah. So I didn't get any videos from the 1st or 2nd floor because I didn't think I was allowed to take them. And I ended up having to talk to the guide about that to like see if I could. And he said, oh yeah, you're on the photography tour, you can take videos, you just can't take videos of the people on the other tours. So now I'm going to move into the things that I consider bad. So one was the tour prices. Now, like I said, I went on the photography tour. I can't tell you really what the prices of the other tours were. But I do know that this one lady that was in front of us in line just went on one of the more simple tours, and it cost her and 2 other people 120 bucks, which seemed really expensive. Yeah, and I know some of their tours are more expensive. Our tour was honestly reasonably priced. It was $100 for the photo tour, which I didn't think was bad, but the other tours seemed not that great priced. Also, one of the coolest buildings on the property was the tuberculosis ward, and we couldn't see it because apparently it is set up all the time as a haunted house. Um, so that is a bit disappointing, honestly. I really wanted to see that building, but he said that they never do tours in there. Then the other negative thing that kind of bothered me a bit more than the rest was that when we went in there were actually other tours still going on, which I'm not really 100% complaining about that, although I'm going to be honest, I did think that since the photo tours are only on certain dates, that um, it would just be people doing the photo tours around the asylum. But no, there were historical tours and stuff going on too. Again, that part didn't super bother me. What bothered me was when we got in there, they told us that, hey, if there is a tour coming in with like historical information stuff, you guys need to like duck out and either head to a different area or like hide in one of the rooms until after they leave, which definitely did kind of annoy me a bit. Um, there were some other small things like, um, oh, okay, this is actually a big thing for me, but probably a small thing to everyone else. They had a historical sign of different Kirkbride asylums, and they have the ridges up there because it's, of course, it's a Kirkbride. It's probably the nearest one to Trans-Alegheny Lunatic Asylum, and they had the wrong photo next to it. They had a photo of Danvers State Hospital, and they listed it as partially demolished, which it is not. So I went there and I went and tried to talk to someone about it. Um, and they gave me an email to email them and just tell them. They said that they have people who come in and tell them historical facts all the time, and they try to fix them. Again, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. It's been over a week now. Well, about a week right now since I've gone there, and since I emailed them and I have heard nothing back. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that. But overall, I would say it is a great experience. Depending on what you're looking for, they offer so many different types of tours. But the only ones that you can take videos on was the photo tour. Also, possibly the ghost hunts. I don't know anything about those. I would definitely recommend the photo tour. If you can, I would do the 8-hour one because it's only 50 bucks more than the 4-hour one. But you will probably be exhausted. I know I was exhausted after 4 hours. So the 8-hour one will definitely probably exhaust you. But anyway, I would consider this a great place to go to visit at least once. It's a bit more expensive, but it's definitely worth it to see it. And it's definitely worth to see where they restored areas and renovated areas, because really that's something you don't get to see anymore. So anyway, I hope you guys like this video. This is something a little bit different from what I normally do, but I figured it was something I would try out. Anyway, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe. And thank you guys for watching.